glad to have such a crowd and folks still making their way in. If you want to find your seat, that's great. I'm going to give you the one warning up front. If you have a raffle ticket, CC student, and it has your name on it, and it's still in your pocket, it's in the wrong place. You want to make sure that it gets in the basket so that you'll be eligible. But again, welcome. It's so great to see so many. It's been fun to hear the buzz and the energy on campus. We've got teams that have done phenomenal work on their startups and in preparation for today, and we're glad you're all here to share it. Couple of quick comments. I'm going to introduce the judges in a little bit, and I'm even going to explain how it works in between. This is going to be rapid fire. So put on your hats, hold on to your seats, because it's going to go fast and furious, and we'll explain things as we go through the time. One thing I will tell you up front, in addition to just kind of the general welcome, is we should have cheering sections here. Here because you were invited by a team to be part of their rooting section. All right, awesome. So, and at the end, so I'm going to ask you, cheer and for the team, but we're going to go fast, so we're going to try and keep the cheering enthusiastic and short until the very end, and then you can be as enthusiastic for as long as you want. Again, this is a big day for so many, and we're glad that you're here to share it, and we're especially glad that President Tiefenthaler is here as well, and Jill's got some opening comments for us. Thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's really great to see such a wonderful turnout today. I want to thank a few people before we get started. First of all, please join me in thanking Patrick Bultman and his entire team for all their hard work in putting this together. We're really thrilled to have you as part of our community and all the experience and mentoring you bring to our students. Thank you. And I also want to thank the judges, Andrew, Karen, Mike, Brenda, and Bob. I don't envy your task today. I know we've got some terrific teams here, but we also want to thank you for your feedback, knowledge, and expertise, and for making the trip to be with us today. Join me in thanking them as well. And most of all, I want to thank our student competitors. I know how much work that you've all put into this project over the last several months. I've seen people practicing around campus, and I've heard lots of buzz. And I also want to thank their faculty, staff, and community mentors for all the support that they've given to our teams. But I know we're going to have a great show today, and I want to thank you for your work and investment. I'm a firm believer that a liberal arts education is the best way to prepare our students today to be tomorrow's problem solvers. A rapidly changing world means that young people need to know the value of seeing things from different perspectives and to be experts in communication and collaboration. And the only way to prepare for the future, for jobs that don't yet exist, for problems that don't yet have solutions, is to develop a nimble mind, comfort with ambiguity, and skills with writing and speaking, all qualities developed by the liberal arts, and all qualities developed at Colorado College. However, it's also important that we provide our students with co-curricular opportunities to practice putting those skills into action. And practice seems to be have a bit more of an impact when there's a little something at stake. So, if you take great students, provide them with the highest quality liberal arts education, add some strong alumni, faculty, and community mentoring, and then get their competitive juices flowing with a public event and a big cash prize, I think you have a recipe for creativity. And the big idea is just that. With 14 teams and more than 50 CC students, this competition has been a catalyst for our students to use their CC experiences to imagine new and exciting ventures. Important is not the outcome today, but the process. And I want you all to remember that all of our students who competed in this competition over the last several months, and maybe some who started and didn't even continue, what you've learned so far has been incredibly valuable as you move forward in the world. So I'm excited to be a participant in this final day of the competition and to hear all of your big ideas. The ideas and energy in this room today are among the very reasons that we soon hope to begin work on Colorado College's Innovation Institute, a place that'll harness big ideas and help boldly translate them into action. Again, thanks everybody for being here, for your participation and enthusiasm, and now let's get on to the big ideas. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jill. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. We have 7 teams. They're going to step up, rapid fire. They're going to give a 10-minute presentation. They know that they've got a 10-minute hard stop. If they're not done in 10 minutes, they're yanked off the stage. Not really, because it's followed by 5 minutes with the judges. And I'll introduce the judges here in a little bit, but these are folks that are basically superstars for being able to make startup investment decisions. Really thrilled to have them. In between, the judges actually will be doing rank ordering as we go, and at the end, they will actually convene and do the final decision. Did we mention there's $50,000 at stake here? They'll be deciding how that gets awarded, and we'll finish the evening or the afternoon with the big checks. Cheering sections, we want to have you cheer, but again, cheer concisely because we're going to go fast. And then at the end, or as we go, I'll be making kind of announcements, giving time for the teams to stage. But along the way, we're going to have drawings as well. So you know there are 3, including a grand prize at the end. And at the end, we'll have a final cheering competition and award the winning cheering section as well. So without further ado, first up is Caddy Energy. CC student team members presenting are Paul Mickey Akabalabe and Ellen Atkinson. Timer. Take it away.
Before we begin, does anyone in the audience have an iPhone we can borrow? Yellow sweatshirt, can you come on up here? I hope you have your contacts backed up.
No.
I'm kidding, we'll be fine. She is at 58% battery. Thank you. Take a seat.
Hi, my name is Paul, and I'm here with my partner Ellen to tell you about why Caddy Energy needs and deserves $20,000 today. We're really excited to tell you about Caddy Energy and the innovative energy product that we've developed, but first we want to introduce you to someone. This is Kwame. Kwame is a barber and lives with his family of 7 in a rural Ghanaian village that has no access to electricity. Kwame explained in a conversation with one of our sales agents that without a mobile phone, his life would come to a standstill because of the following reasons. Kwame uses his mobile phone to keep in touch with his family and friends since he travels a lot. He also uses the mobile phone to make payments in market as well as receive payment from clients. And he also uses the mobile phone to check the prices of goods and other services. And above all, he uses the mobile phone to contact emergency medical services like my partner Ellen here had to 3 weeks ago. Therefore, Kwame does not go a day without his phone charged. Mobile phones are spurring economical development and enhancing the quality of life in places like Ghana. Here is a satellite image of the world at night, and you can see Africa mostly cloaked in darkness. In fact, only 30% of the rural Ghanaian population have access to electricity. Have access to electricity. And that does not even guarantee reliable access. Here you can see a commercial charging station. And however, the compelling and safe need here is power. People lack the electricity needed to power their phones and power their lives. Kwame here has to travel an hour and a half on a crowded African bus to the neighboring town to charge his and his family members' phone because his village doesn't have access to electricity. There are also intermittent blackouts, which render some of Kwame's travel very useless. Commercial mobile phone charging stations provide unreliable power, which actually is capable of frying your phone, which adds to Kwame's plight. This commercial phone charging station charges 25 cents per charge, which adds up to $50 per phone per year. With travel costs, a Waramposi resident spends over $1,000 on phone charging, and that does not take into account the opportunity cost of traveling and waiting for a charge. This is where Caddy Energy comes in. Caddy Energy aims to bring innovative energy solutions that power social change to Africa, starting with my home country, Ghana.
To meet the needs of people like Kwame, Caddy developed the Ray 20, a solar-powered mobile charger. Here's what's unique about our product. We designed the Ray 20 specifically to meet the multiple charging needs of large families like Kwame's. So unlike any other products on the market, the Ray 20 has multiple charging ports. This means immediate savings because the Ray 20 can charge 4 devices at the same time. This is a critical feature for large families and owners of multiple phones, both of which are extremely common in sub-Saharan Africa. Also, owners of mobile charging businesses can utilize the Ray 20 to operate independently of the unreliable power grid. Unlike messy electrical charging stations, the Ray 20 can be charged anytime, anywhere, saving time, travel, and charging costs, and providing West Africans with a reliable flow of energy. Our long-lasting battery is extremely energy efficient, and above all, the Ray 20 offers an affordable solution for African mobile phone users spending too much time and money on current unsatisfactory charging options. Many of our product competitors have products that can only charge 1 or 2 phones before the solar panel needs to be recharged in the sun. However, the Ray 20 only needs to be put out in the sun for 1 day, and then it can charge up to 14 phones before needing a solar panel recharge. Pretty cool. This is due to our incredibly efficient battery, which can hold charge for up to 6 months. Stacked up against our main competitors, Caddy offers the most bang for the buck and is one of the most affordable options for African mobile phone users on the market. Our product retails for $25. As you can see here, D-Light's product, which can only charge 1 phone, sells for slightly less. But none of our competitors' products, including D-Light, do have products with multiple charging ports. Here's how our products get to people like Kwame. Our management team in Ghana receives shipments from manufacturing in Hong Kong. Distribution teams under their direction then sell directly to consumers and retailers. These Caddy employees are paid on commission in order to incentivize them to sell as well as to collect. Consumers then can choose to pay for our product in 2 parts, first for the solar panel and then for the battery, enabling affordability for those who would normally not be able to pay for the full price of our product up front. Employees also wholesale to retailers for resale to more consumers. Caddy also engages in strategic partnerships. Government agencies, NGOs, nonprofits, for-profits, and aid organizations can place orders for Caddy products directly with our management headquarters here in Colorado Springs. We're really excited about the traction that Caddy has made in the last few months. Just last month, we were selected out of 60 teams to pitch with 9 other budding businesses at the Harvard Business School's annual African Business Conference. We've also received a $10,000 investment offer from Direction, a socially responsible investment firm. 2 of our strategic partners include the Grameen Foundation in Ghana and Northlight Solar, pending licensing of our product. Africans need accessible, affordable mobile charging solutions, and we are the team who can make that happen. I'm here today with Paul, our Ghanaian founder and president, and he leads the tech side of our team along with Fiwo Kule Shongwe. David Yang is an engineer with 20 years of experience, and he's the man who brought our product to life after Paul spent 4 years developing our battery technology. Paul is one of those born entrepreneurs. At just the age of 15, he created a solar collector to power community lights in his hometown of Ho, Ghana. Samantha Barlow and I handled the business development aspects of Caddy. Samantha is a public relations genius, and in her last few trips to Ghana, she has networked an amazing team for Caddy. I'm Caddy's business development executive, and I actually have quite a bit of insight into one of our main competitors. I spent the last 2 years working with a firm global development to bring the solar D-Light to communities in India and Kenya. And spoiler alert, our product is better. Our boots on the ground team is comprised of Dr. James Okpabli, who is also the Minister of Health in Ghana. He brings quite a bit of power to the operation when it comes to dealing with government regulations. Our 2 regional sales directors, Emmanuel and Frederick, are true forces of nature and wholly committed to improving lives of Ghanaians. Frederick is a huge asset as he himself has 10 years of experience in the import-export industry. We are able to retail our product for $25 because we can manufacture and ship our product in bulk for $16. This, after all operational costs, our $2 per unit profit enables Caddy to be financially sustainable while providing a good that meets a social need.
Here, I would like to draw your particular attention to the fact that in our first 3 years of operation, we'll be servicing less than 1% of our target market, which implies that there's a huge opportunity for growth for our company. And our gross profit and our earnings also increases drastically over the first 3 years, which shows that Caddy Energy is, in fact, a very profitable social business. We come to you today to ask for $20,000. We've already poured several thousands of dollars in private donation and team contribution in creating our minimum viable products, developing prototypes, and sending several product trails to Ghana for advertising, licensing, and market research. And what we really need today is $20,000 to turn this good idea into a big idea. $20,000 today will fund the production and distribution of 500 A20s to really establish our product in the market and further prove the viability of our distribution network. Most importantly, Caddy Energy will use these funds to leverage even larger investment from other sources. Thank you very much, and we hope you have confidence in us today.
And 5 minutes for judges' questions. Judges.
Ellen, I want to challenge you a little bit. It sounds like you've had exposure to light.
Yes.
Just move it close, Bob.
Pardon me?
It's on.
It's on? Okay. You had some I too had exposure to D-Light at the Stanford Business School when they did a similar presentation maybe 4 years ago. I agree you have a better product probably physically, but their point was that you need cell phones, you need lights, you need cooking, and you need heat. And the most costly part of the whole process is building the supply chain, and having more throughput of other products is the only way you can do it. You're only doing phones. Why are you only doing phones?
We're only doing phones right now because we realize that we can add features later. So we've thought about adding like a torch or flashlight to our product, but we realize that this is a dominant need right now for African mobile phone users, and that they don't necessarily want to carry a big chunky solar lamp around with them everywhere just because they need to charge their phones. So we're addressing a particular concrete need and hoping to add other features in the future because we have the technology to do so.
That was the right answer.
Paul, if you could answer this, please. In your material, you say that Ghana intends to have their power grid up and running in 2015, and they're not going to do that.
No.
But is there a limited life on your product? Because eventually they will.
Yeah, so the limit life on our product is 5 years. But the current situation in Ghana shows that even by 2020, it will not be possible for Ghana to actually solve the energy problems that we face right now. Because as I'm talking right now, we have like blackouts every day because the water level has gone down, and so they have to like keep the load shedding almost every week to actually sustain the power. So that is really daunting, and that is why we need private businesses like Caddy Energy to supplement that and help the government in reaching that bigger goal.
Hi. I thought you guys did a great presentation. One question for you. I was just doing a cursory search on Amazon. Give me an iPad, and I'll get distracted. And I found a lot of solar chargers on Amazon from various companies in various sizes, shapes, colors, whatever. Are none of those? Has nobody thought to sell any of those in Africa? I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of products sort of like what you're doing in the market.
Affordability.
Yeah, I found some for $20. I didn't search very long because you guys. I liked your presentation. I wanted to pay attention, but.
All right, actually, to answer that question, if I would define my product, our product, I'll define it in 3 words: communal, battery, and affordability. Communal in the sense that it's for bigger families. Like most solar charging options, like the one on top is just 12,000 milliamps hour, which can power just 7 iPhones for almost $85. Like, how many Africans can afford that? Yeah. And so we're providing a much cheaper option. But another important aspect is our battery technology, which has actually attracted the interest of a big company like General Electric. And this is a correspondence we received this morning from one of their director of operation after we pitch our battery technology to them at Harvard Business School. So we're going to have a meeting with them and see how we can partner with them as well.
All right, thank you.
What are you using, lithium-ion batteries?
Yeah.
You'll have to sign a non-disclosure form if we're going to get into our battery technology.
You'll be able to source those from Tesla shortly, by the way, when they get their gigawatt.
We're all about partnership.
That's from the PhD in physical chemistry, actually.
I actually want to follow up on Mike's question and think about powering the home, because you can clearly put solar cells in the home and provide greater electrification, not just for the cell phone, and business models to do that. And so you're seeing that take off here, you're seeing that take off in Europe. So the PV prices are coming down. I would imagine you'd see that in Africa as well, which creates a challenge. I think it actually can circumvent the power grid to you. And business models have started to emerge, and Patrick's going to cut me off, where you just pay for the power. How does that impact you?
Well, something that even comes to mind, we do not plan to stay in Ghana. We plan to expand outside of Ghana, and Ghana is one of the most developed countries in Africa. I would say probably, within the top 5 or 10, but there is a huge market in all of Africa to expand and continue to use this product. No matter how much solar develops, I think we have a really long period of time for this product to be really, really needed.
And a solar installation for a household in Ghana right now costs over $2,000. And that is really expensive.
How large do you think this market opportunity is?
Right now, we're targeting 30% of the 30% who don't have access to electricity, which account for 8 million. But we actually targeting Togo, Burkina Faso, and Cote d'Ivoire, who actually import electricity from Ghana. So it's like a huge market, and we think we have the product that's going to fit the energy needs. And we started with cell phones, but we have the bigger picture. And as I'm talking right now, I'm working on other product designs as well.
So one of the keys of good pitching is leave them wanting more, and I think it's good that we all want to be able to hear more. Thank you, Caddy Energy.
We just added 10%, by the way.
To Caitlin's phone.
So while our next team is staging in, I want to take a moment to actually introduce our judges, because we really do have an incredible panel of judges. I couldn't be more thrilled to have them all here. First, and judges, if you'll just turn and kind of acknowledge the audience. First is Brenda Smith. Brenda has been a leader in our community in both business and philanthropic circles. She was a leading partner of BKD CPAs and advisors for quite a season, specializing in finance and accounting for nonprofits. Brenda has served as Chief Operating Officer of First Presbyterian Church and continues in a leadership role with the ECO organization. Most recently, she's part of a group that has purchased the Garden of the Gods Club and is doing a really exciting transformation of the Garden of the Gods Club. Brenda is a trustee emeritus of the El Pomar Foundation and an active UCCS alum. Brenda, indeed, is a leader in our community, and we're thrilled to have you, Brenda. Next is Karen Carr. Karen has significant academic background with a PhD in physical chemistry from the University of Chicago. She was a Kauffman Fellow, and in case you aren't familiar, Kauffman is really the think tank and foundation for entrepreneurship. Karen and I actually met while she was a partner at Arch Ventures, a venture capital firm with firm and deep roots in the academic tech transfer arena. Karen was a partner at Intellectual Ventures, and most recently ran the entrepreneurship program at the University of Southern California. Karen, we're thrilled you're here. Thank you. Next is Andrew Piper. Andrew is a best-selling author. In fact, he's an author who has topped the #1 bestseller list in Canada and a bestseller in countries around the world. He has 7 novels. His most recent, Demonologist, has a 9-week run atop the bestseller list. He has a bachelor's degree and a master's in English from McGill, and is a recovering lawyer, as I found out last night, with a law degree from the University of Toronto. And I was trying to get to explain that last night. I'm still not sure I got all the way to the bottom of it. Yeah. But I guess that he simply represents the creative and quirky background that so many of us entrepreneurs have. And we're pleased to have him both as a judge and as a friend of Colorado College. So Andrew. Next up is Mike Slade. Mike is an alum of CC and a member of the Board of Trustees. Mike followed his bachelor's in economics from CC with an MBA from Stanford. And Mike has a very interesting background as an innovator and entrepreneur. He was very early with Microsoft, and in his own words on his LinkedIn, in various muckety-mucky jobs at Microsoft, marketing positions with Microsoft. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mike is the guy behind launching a number of Microsoft products, including Office, that are kind of mainstays of our life and vocabulary these days. It was intriguing last night hearing him just anecdotally tell stories about working with Bill Gates and Paul Allen. And when he went from Microsoft, he went to another boring place. He was vice president of marketing at Next Computer with Steve Jobs. Then Paul Allen had him do a startup that was $1 billion outcome with Disney. And Jobs somehow got you back. He hadn't had enough abuse, so back to Apple with Jobs. And today, he is managing partner of Second Avenue Venture Capital, private equity and venture capital firm in Seattle. So thrilled, Mike, to have you here as a judge as well. And then finally, let me introduce Bob Seelig. Bob is also a member of the Board of Trustees. We are really fortunate at CC to have not only this caliber of trustees and alums also. And again, he followed the path of doing an MBA at Stanford. Bob is president of Davis Instruments, a privately held manufacturing company and developer of exceptional instruments for weather, marine, automotive use, and priding itself in bringing innovative, high-quality products at reasonable prices. So, Caddy, you understand this is a guy who knows something about making electronics products. And incidentally, if you get a home weather, kind of a consumer weather instrument product, it's almost certainly a Davis Instruments product. And when I was a cadet at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy and on the sailing squadron, I actually used Davis Instrument products on the sailing yacht that I raced on. So again, Bob has been an innovator and a leader in this role with Davis Instruments for 42 years, and that's an incredible thing. They have a real reputation for being innovators. Bob's also an active philanthropist, and we're blessed to have him so involved with us here in Colorado College and for having a passion for how we make innovation a real theme here. So when I said we have an all-star panel of judges, you see, I wasn't kidding. Please welcome them. So next up is C, and they have quite a list of team members, including CC students Sarah Emma Graham, Ali Eid, Barrett Donovan, Julia Von Ralty, and Paraprof Dirk Rasmussen, who actually got called away and mentored by Professor Howard Drossman. Guys, you're on.
Hi. Hi, I'm Howard Drossman. I'm filling in for Dirk Rasmussen, the geology paraprofessional who's teaching in New Mexico this week. I'm presenting today with Sarah Emma Graham and the rest of our extraordinary semester in environmental education team. When asked to name his favorite childhood place in nature, a fourth grader in San Diego said, "I like to play indoors, because that's where all the electrical outlets are."
Research indicates that children who do not learn and play in the outdoors have increased chances of ADHD, childhood obesity, lower creativity, depression, and aggression.
Recognizing the cultural issues that accompany a wired society, excellent environmental education programs such as the Teton Science Schools and the Conserve School provide outdoor curricula for kindergarten through high school students to address the wellness implications associated with nature deficit disorder. Our big idea is the Semester in Environmental Education, or SEE program, a new nonprofit venture partnership that capitalizes on the complementary strengths of 3 existing nonprofit organizations: Colorado College, the Catamount Center, and Lectica. Colorado College's strategic Building on the Block plan emphasizes several key aspects of the SEE program. Like this geology class, the Semester in Environmental Education program promotes exploration and discovery and helps cultivate and build a center of innovative teaching and learning. The new Semester in Environmental Education program, Venture Partnership, enhances Colorado College's already strong national reputation for experiential undergraduate pedagogy and outdoor learning. The Catamount Center, a local environmental nonprofit organization, has been working with Colorado College students and K-12 youth in the Pikes Peak region since 1997. The new Semester in Environmental Education program, Venture Partnership, capitalizes on Catamount's innovative 7S curriculum model and its experience connecting K-12 youth with nature. Our third Semester in Environmental Education program venture partner, Lectica, affiliated with the Harvard Graduate School of Education, has been testing a new paradigm for developmental assessment since 1994. Lectica's director, Dr. Theo Dawson, is now in a position to launch a potential $30 million lectical assessment market. Our venture partnership will produce a new lectical assessment to promote the development of ecological stewardship. This new product will revolutionize the field of environmental education. None of our environmental education competitors have adapted John Dewey's laboratory school model, where undergraduate students learn by teaching their K-12 students. Our educational research with K-12 students will inform our teaching, and our teaching will inform our research in a cycle of virtuous learning. None of our competitors' programs open new markets in curriculum, assessment, and educational research that inform the next generation of environmental educators. Our products show that we care. There will be no cost to the local K-12 schools or students who participate in the Semester in Environmental Education program. With the launch of the undergraduate C program in fall 2015, undergraduate tuition will sustain the program. The residential undergraduate program will be hosted at the Catamount Mountain campus, located just 20 miles from Colorado College. Drawing upon its unique sense of place on the north slope of Pikes Peak, Catamount offers undergraduate Semester in Environmental Education program students a spectacular natural classroom. Catamount Center is completing infrastructure upgrades and construction of its state-of-the-art 24-person dorm for the C program undergraduate students. The Semester in Environmental Education program is a 16-week local residential semester program that complements study abroad experiences. Starting in fall 2015, 8 to 24 undergraduate students will live and learn in community at the Catamount Mountain campus. Our established partner K-12 schools are extremely excited to bring their students to the campus to learn along with our Semester in Environmental Education program undergraduate students every week for one full school day. Where a block or traditional semester program provides only limited interaction time, the C program allows undergraduates to monitor their K-12 students' development through almost 100 hours of experiential learning.
One of the greatest obstacles facing our education system is misguided assessment.
For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree.
Like these characters, each student has unique learning styles and skills. All good educators recognize the need for assessment, but few agree on what assessments should look like. Lectical assessments seek to go beyond this kind of old-school linear thinking. Instead of testing what we know, lectical assessments explore how we know it. Lectical assessments are tests of students' ability to apply their knowledge to real-world, open-ended problems. Existing lectical assessments examine knowledge about teaching and learning, ethics and leadership, and specific subjects like the water cycle and the physics of energy. Lectical assessments have been shown to double students' learning when integrated into well-designed educational programs. Howard Drossman, along with his wife Julie Francis, is the co-founder of Catamount Center and professor of education and environmental science at Colorado College. His entrepreneurial spirit and interdisciplinary expertise make him the ideal C program director. Howard is already collaborating with Dr. Theo Dawson of Lectica on 4 educational assessment projects. Lectica's clients include the U.S. National Security Agency, several municipal governments in the U.S., Canada, and Australia, K-12 schools, universities and colleges, and corporate clients, including one of the nation's largest internet companies. Given large enrollments in undergraduate environmental programs nationally, as well as record high enrollments in Colorado College's environmental program, and the launch of CC's new education major, the undergraduate market is ready for the C program. In 2015, our annual gross revenue is projected to be $672,000 from the tuition of 24 enrolled students. We will draw students from Colorado College and other colleges like Quest University, which lack education departments, but have students with broad interests in the environment and in education. Our projected net annual program revenue in the fall of 2015 is $336,000. A future two-semester C program has a projected net annual revenue exceeding $700,000. Our financial projections do not include anticipated future revenue from assessment and curriculum products and teacher training programs. A big idea investment will allow us to hire 2 fellows and 4 interns who are essential to the successful launch in fall of 2015. Fellows will be responsible for C program marketing and recruitment. The interns will teach students from partnering K-12 schools at the Catamount Mountain campus and in their classrooms. We will pilot test existing electrical assessments with the K-12 students and the interns, which will allow us to initiate research and development for the new electrical tool assessing students' development of ecological stewardship. In this pilot year, Catamount Center will pay all site overhead and dorm costs, and Colorado College will pay the director's salary. A big idea investment provides a $10,000 stipend and food for the 2 full-year fellows and food and electrical classes for the 4 interns. The electrical assessment budget is $9,700, and our marketing budget is $7,500. Our total request is $49,400. This seed funding is only required in the 2014-2015 pilot year. In the fall of 2015, the C program is sustainable with only 7 undergraduate students.
We hope you can see our program will generate net revenue in its first year and provide new revenue through development of curriculum and assessment products. But it's not just about revenue. We are also promoting wellness by connecting students with nature. Understanding how children and young adults develop the virtue of ecological stewardship will allow us to improve their quality of life and inspire the next generation of environmental leaders. To quote John Dewey, "Education is not a preparation for life, but is life itself."
Well done, C. Judges.
Oh, yeah, thanks. That was great. I have a question just about the content of the courses and the learning itself. Would it necessarily be restricted to environmental studies, or could it be potentially broader than that? That is to say, would there theoretically have benefit to learn in this environment, but be reading, Shakespeare, except it happens to be in this unique environment? Or would it be, no, this is in the environment, about the environment exclusively?
So these courses are going to be about both the education and the environment. So for anybody who is interested in both of those topics, plus we'll have courses on environmental education exclusively, but it's definitely open to a broader range of those who might have an interest in either of those. There will be some classes in exclusively environmental science and some exclusively in education, plus the opportunity for the combination of both.
Thank you. You mentioned education is life itself, so.
Right. Can I just ask a clarifying question? I thought it was a great presentation, by the way. It's really great. It's a really cool idea. I'm very familiar with Islandwood, living in Seattle. So, question is, the tuition money you get from CC, is that money that doesn't go somewhere else in the college? You're allocating those students' money all to this? I don't really understand how that works.
You sound like a trustee.
Yeah.
Well,
it wasn't clear from the presentation. That's why I'm asking.
Because these students will be at the Catamount Mountain campus, CC will be able to have 24 extra people in the
it.
school here, so the 24 tuition.
So it's like they're going overseas or something. They're
Right,
still paying,
yeah, it's like a local study abroad.
So in other words, they're allocating that tuition to you. It goes through them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice of them.
Actually, a fair bit of that money will stay in the education department.
Did you check with Jill? I just checked. Yeah.
We've been working with Jill for a year.
This is not a question, it's kind of a comment. It's a great idea. There's another model that's not exactly the same, but similar out our way in California, Vita Verde. Maybe you know Sean and Laura, two CC grads who maybe 10 years ago started their educational program for the Bay Area. It's been a booming success because it touches people's hearts. And they were able to, I think I was their first investor. There are probably 300 Bay Area alums who have helped out. The Packard Foundation has helped out. I mean, it's not it wasn't easy for them at all, but they've been successful, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to help mentor you. So.
Thank you.
I do have so this is a great idea. I love it, and environmental programs are hot now. So that's good when kids are making decisions on where to go to college. I'm just curious, since this is the big idea, how you ladies have helped to shape this idea.
You guys could be the two fellows.
So Allie and I, we're actually looking forward, and we actually want to be the fellows next year who are going to be marketing and developing this project, and we've been basically helping Howard and, well, working with Howard to develop the budget, the structure of it. I mean, we originally had 4 fellows that would only be in the fall, and then we kind of extended it to incorporate marketing and things like that.
Yeah, this is definitely Howard's brainchild, and he's put so much energy into this. But over the past few months, we've all collaborated, and like all of our hearts and souls are put into this project. And so not only in this process, but once the program is started, it's completely driven and motivated by our ideas and our energy. So it's very much student-driven.
Yep. And I'm a sophomore here at CC, and I've actually already put the C program into my schedule for fall of my senior year. So I'm planning on doing it and excited to do that.
You're planning on donating your tuition dollars to
Yep.
it? Okay, I got it.
Yep. And I've talked to a
You're
bunch of my
investing.
friends. Yep, and there's been wide interest told to us just by word of mouth. So after marketing, we should have tons more students who are really interested.
I'm also planning on coming back once it launches in 2015, either fall of 2015 or 2016, to be one of the fellows. So hopefully.
Have you developed any cool marketing strategies that you can share?
We haven't yet attacked the marketing component, but we're definitely planning to market to CC first. We've got a really big market here, and then there's some other, we've got some connections with University of Denver and other places to start to launch our ideas, as well as Quest. Howard's been talking with Quest, and they're really excited to partner with us as well. So.
We're also planning on visiting other colleges' study abroad fairs, and through the Associated Colleges of the Midwest, we already have affiliations with them through study abroad programs, so we would capitalize on that. So visiting other colleges.
Great, thanks.
Great, let's hear it up for Steve. Good job. So obviously, the caliber of what these folks are all putting together didn't happen overnight. In fact, there's been a full year, and I wanted to give you a little bit of sense of what we've done this year. So there's been a full programming of both being inspired by entrepreneurs. We've had many entrepreneurs, alums, and people from the community and beyond come and share their stories as entrepreneurs. Furthermore, we've run startup boot camps. We've done a bunch of kind of co-curricular education things. We've got mentors, and I'll talk more about that, from the community and the alumni that have been involved in helping the teams. And then we've been through a really extensive process of the teams actually qualifying and pitching and refining to get to these 7 finalists. And I will tell you that even saying to some of the other teams, you're just not quite ready yet, to narrow down to 7 was really, really a challenge. So a lot has gone into this year, and this is a theme that's going to continue on for Colorado College. As Jill mentioned, we extend to the Innovation Institute. Next up is City Roots with CC students and team members, Frederick Linseth, Jeremy Harlem, and Jonah Goldman. Take it away.
All right, so I'm Frederick Linseth.
I'm Jeremy Harlem. I'm Jonah Goldman.
We are City Roots, and our goal is to reconnect people with their food.
By producing healthy foods year-round in underused urban spaces with innovative closed-loop farming techniques like hydroponics and aquaponics, City Roots increases the availability of sustainably grown food, betters our urban environment, and empowers our community to grow their own food.
So hydroponics is the growing of plants in a closed-loop soilless system and actually allows you to build vertically in space. This system, for example, takes 8 square feet of floor space and turns it into 24 square feet of growable space and can hold up to 60 heads of lettuce at one time. The way it works is pretty simple, too. There's a reservoir that contains a nutrient-rich water solution, which is pumped up to the hydroponic beds, drained back down into the reservoir where it can be recycled through the system.
Aquaponics is the fusion of hydroponics and aquaculture, which is fish farming. In aquaponics, you essentially replace the reservoir used in hydroponics with a fish tank. The fish in that tank produce waste, which is then converted into usable nutrients for these plants. The plants absorb the nutrients, grow, filter the water, and that water is filtered back into the fish tank. These closed-loop systems use 10% of the water used by modern agriculture, can be 18 times more efficient per square foot of space, and have higher food safety, in part because you have the ability to better control the environment that you're growing in.
Closed-loop farming systems create symbiotic relationships between species and establish a more productive and economically stable farming enterprise. To further increase yields, it's even possible to stack chicken coops on top of fish tanks, allowing chickens to root through compost and using their waste to feed the fish. This kind of synergistic system can allow us to capitalize on the full range of resources at our fingertips and provide our customers with a variety of healthy products like fresh vegetables, greens, fish, chicken eggs, and chicken meat. Over the past century, food has changed pretty dramatically. Mechanized agriculture and global economic forces have given us abundant food at a low price, but at a high environmental and nutritional cost. Some of the unintended consequences of a consolidated industrial system are declining food quality, diet-related illness, transportation costs, environmental degradation, and issues of food access, to name only a few. Food deserts are a huge problem in cities, especially for low-income residents. In 2007, only 2% of the food purchased in the United States came from local, sustainable sources. We are dedicated to addressing these issues by increasing the availability of delicious, healthy local food.
City Roots is well poised to bridge this gap and reconnect people to food. By using these innovative growing systems, we want to change the way people think about growing their food and where they can grow that food. People can grow vertically in space and use space that they had not been previously using. City Roots is selling the experience of growing your own food back to the customer, which has been lost through industrialized agriculture. Growing your own food makes people genuinely happier, healthier, and better connected to what they're actually eating.
So we want to do this in 3 ways. First, we'll offer highly customizable systems to the residents of Colorado Springs as well as grocery stores around the city. This will allow the residents of Colorado Springs to keep their food fresh to the moment of consumption. Second, we want to offer these customizable systems at a larger scale to restaurants and institutions around the Springs, showing that these institutions really care about what goes into the food they're providing their customers with, while creating an experience for those customers at the same time. For all of our customers, we will provide varying levels of maintenance services, and although we hope to provide these customers with all the knowledge necessary to run and maintain these systems, we understand that they might need some help along the way. Finally, we want to produce our own food, selling to grocers, restaurants, and at farmers markets, providing healthy, local food to the residents of Colorado Springs on every level.
While still in the startup space, City Roots has the benefit of low contracting costs. As we go to larger institutions, we have the ability to work with them to design and implement a system that is to their liking, and while they're providing the upfront capital. Our system sales are also highly customizable, but we'll be offering pre-designed systems available for purchase, but these are more costly for us in the short run. Our food production currently consists of 200 square feet of aquaponic space off campus, which costs us $1,800 to build, indoor production of microgreens, which are highly profitable and have a seed to harvest of about 10 days, and also this 3-shelf hydroponic system, which has been proving to us recently to be very productive. And as our operation continues to scale, it becomes more cost efficient.
So last year, Jeremy and I came up with the idea for a local food production company here in the Springs. We began producing a small amount of romaine lettuce, butter crunch lettuce, basil, jalapenos, and a spicy salad mix on top of my dorm room bed. With this food production model, we entered the big idea, got third place, and received $2,000.
With that $2,000, we really wanted to maximize our own food production at the time, so we built our aquaponic system. But moving the business forward, we really wanted to change our vision and have a greater social impact while maintaining that food production aspect of the business. Our aquaponic space off campus can produce 4,000 heads of lettuce per year and house 60 tilapia at any one time.
We've taken our new business approach to local owners in the Springs who have so far been very supportive of our new vision and committed new customers, some of whom are actually here in the audience right now. Having a passionate network of food businesses is important for increasing City Roots' growth potential and spreading our systems around the Springs, making our city healthier, greener, stronger, and more aware of what goes into their food. By the end of this year, we want to have installed 10 to 15 new systems in retail areas, not including residential spaces. We want to continue to increase revenue from our own production of microgreens and harvest fish and lettuce from our own 200 square foot aquaponic system, as well as begin looking into new sites for increased urban food production around the Springs.
Moving into 2015, we want to expand our system sales into the Denver area and Boulder. We think we'll be as well received there as we have here in Colorado Springs and be able to quickly build traction in those areas. We also want to continue to grow our food production and exercise our ability to scale and just expand on our food production independently.
So we are committed within the next 5 years to building a large-scale vertical farm here in Colorado Springs that will feature an education center where people can learn how to use our systems, learn the benefits of a healthy diet, and the benefits of growing your own food. My name is Frederick Linseth. I'm president and co-founder of City Roots. I have experience in hydroponic agriculture and sustainable farming back home in Cleveland, Ohio. I have additional experience with hydroponic system design and operation from a research fellowship I received my senior year of high school. I'm currently a junior biology major focusing on plants.
I'm Jeremy Harlem. I'm a CFO and co-founder. I have sales experience in multiple sectors from previous jobs. I'm an economics major here at Colorado College in my junior year. And I have marketing and consulting experience here in the Springs with local businesses, and I love growing my own food.
I'm Jonah Goldman, Chief Communications Officer, and I also have marketing experience and community and organizing involvement in Colorado Springs, as well as experience within the local foods movement and organic farming. I'm a junior political science major with an agricultural policy emphasis.
Our ask from the big idea is $30,000. This will go towards funding the production and sale of our systems. It will go towards research and development for our own systems and those we are marketing to our customers. It will go towards trademarking the business and also strengthening the brand and continued customer acquisition. With $2,000, we've done a lot, and just imagine what we can do with $30,000. And we're really confident that we can be at the forefront of urban farming in Colorado Springs in the next year or so.
As we continue to grow vertically and sink our roots deeper into the city, we want to increase our customer base, which currently includes places like Poor Richard's Restaurant, Manitou Local First Grocer, Bon Appetit, and Ranch Foods Direct. These and other community supporters can help advertise City Roots, increase urban food production through the system sales, and help us generate profits to reinvest in growing our business and achieving our mission on a larger scale. By reconnecting people to food, we will empower consumers to realize that their dollar is their vote for the change that they want to see in the future. Thank you.
Judges, questions?
Yes, interesting, very interesting. I'm a little bit familiar with what it is you're talking about, but can you all see yourselves doing this as a career, one? And two, what about the different companies? Can you really get a broad enough base of businesses to buy into the approach?
So as far as a career goes, we have registered this business with the state of Colorado. We have business cards. We are dedicated. we are dedicated to staying here after we graduate. We want to do whatever it takes to make City Roots the forefront of Colorado urban farming. And as far as our competition goes, or as far as our customers go, we do believe that there is a strong enough base of support, not only in Colorado Springs, but in the larger Colorado area for fresh local food. And we believe that people, when they actually experience growing their own food, they will understand the benefits of it, and they won't want to go buy food that was shipped in from Chile.
I thought it was a great presentation. Question, which I guess will applies more to consumers than to businesses, because I worry a little bit about selling to different kinds of markets at the same time. But with consumers, how much of an education do you have to, do people self-select in? Like, I would know the first thing about growing this stuff, so I wonder if you don't have an opportunity to teach people as much as you do to sell them things as another revenue stream, because people might be aspirational about it, but barely fry an egg, right?
Yeah, that's what's great about our maintenance services is we do try to educate our customers on how they can do this themselves in case they have the capability and the time to do so. But we understand that some of this is rather complicated, and we will gain recurring revenue from these maintenance services, and that's how we plan to address that problem.
Is that the final form? What does this system look like? I mean, I recognize it's a prototype.
Oh, yeah, so as we said, we'll offer highly customizable systems, and this is just one example of one of the systems you would sell to a family.
What's the customer type for this system?
Residential, but this is one of the higher producers. We could also install this in a small grocery store, allowing farmers to transplant their plants into this system, keeping the food alive until the customer wants to buy it, and then they can even take that produce home.
How much does that cost?
This would cost $1,000, but will pay off in half a year.
A 6-month ROI, okay.
Yeah.
You saved the day when you brought out the food factory. I was going to mark you down because I wasn't quite understanding what was going on systems-wise, but it's great.
If you want to try any, feel free.
Yeah. So I didn't dig into the financials very deeply, but you've got cost of sales. You don't have cost of getting sales. And marketing and G&A, all the things that are really important and maybe the biggest cost. So is that factored into your thinking?
Yeah, so as we provide these systems to restaurants and grocery stores and larger institutions, we hope this to be a sort of free advertisement where people will see these systems, be more curious about how they can have one themselves, and then we will jump in and provide it for them.
So why lettuce?
Why lettuce?
Yeah. Are there not higher value crops that...
Okay, so for example, we have microgreens growing here in the middle shelf. I don't know, you probably can't see them. But this, as Jeremy said, takes about 10 days from seed to harvest. And this tray alone, in 10 days, will save you as a consumer about $60 to $80. And so, I mean, microgreens are where the profits are really at, because you can sell 1 ounce for about $5 to $6, and from a 10 by 20 tray, you can get about 4 ounces. I mean, the initial investment per tray is cents on the dollar, and we can sell a full tray for around $24.
Is there any good stuff in there?
It's all very good.
That's what people are mostly doing with hydroponics.
Great job. I'm guessing that comment was from the meat eater. Great, thank you, City Roots. So, this program and theme of innovation is really a core commitment of Colorado College. It's been possible this year, or wouldn't be possible this year, without the vision and support of a number of people here at Colorado College. Of course, we're all deeply grateful for the leadership and vision of President Tiefenthaler and the CC board to make innovation a central, strategic, emerging theme and commitment of the college. Dean Mike Edmonds, along with Professor Dan Johnson, played a big role in, maybe against all better judgment, inviting me here to be a part of the program. And I'm most grateful to Dean Edmonds for all of his support and guidance of the program this year. Other key supporters have included Senior Associate Dean John Lauer, Career Center Director Megan Nicholas, all of the staff of the President's Office, and so many in administration and leadership roles that I just don't have time to mention them all. But I'm also most grateful to many faculty who have been supportive and involved and enthusiastic about the program and with students. English professor Steve Hayward, design professor Marie Davis Green, film professors Clay Haskell and Dylan Nelson, environment professor Howard Drossman, who you just saw, associate director of the Rockies, Brendan Bope. You get a feel, right? The breadth and diversity and level of commitment has just been a joy. And I've said it now many times, one of the great joys for me personally has just been part of this great collegial spirit and community of innovation here at Colorado College. Finally, I've had 3 individuals that have been deeply involved in helping on a day-to-day basis, even while they've had other full-time roles. Student intern Liz Lilly. Liz, wave to everybody. Economics paraprofessional Phoenix Van Wagenen, very involved, and Jason Owens from the Career Center. Thanks so much to all, and with that, Wti Center, guys, you're up.
السلام عليكم أنا اسمي تيم وهذا ويل وراح ننشأ أول نادي تسلق في الضفة الغربية.
For those of you who don't speak Arabic, hello. My name is Will Harris and this is Tim Bruns. We are the co-founders of a new social venture called Wti Climbing. Wadi in Arabic means canyon or valley, and is a term associated with the outdoors or adventure in Arabic culture.
With Wti Climbing, we're building the first indoor rock climbing gym in the Palestinian territories and making a sport that we love and are deeply passionate about accessible to the Palestinian community.
As climbers, we understand the power of climbing, but in case you're not one, it may be hard to understand at first. Here's a 1-minute video further explaining the power of climbing.
My name is Bassam Kuba, and I am the first Iraqi climber, and climbing changed my life.
And for a lot of kids, it's just a way to boost self-esteem and get them to try things that are new and a little out of their comfort zone.
I love going to the climbing gym because it's not just a place to go work out, it's a place where I can hang out with my friends and meet new people and just really be a part of the climbing community.
What I like about climbing as well is how people join together. Different nationalities, different cultures, they all get connected. It's like people know how to speak a language. They all have one thing, is climbing together.
You will encounter obstacles and overcome them and realize how great of a person you can be, and it's all through climbing.
We're lucky enough to have access to these benefits in our daily lives, but this is not the case in the West Bank. A Palestinian kid, even if they are from the upper echelons of society, grows up in a limited environment. His or her daily life is characterized by fear, stress, and sometimes even violence in a way that your average American kid's is not.
Access to constructive, healthy activity is barred by the political reality of the Arab-Israeli conflict, over which an everyday Palestinian has no control. And this doesn't end after childhood.
Walking through the streets of Ramallah, you will see people whose sedentary lifestyles has a negative effect on individuals, the community, and society as a whole. This is an actual piece of property that we've located for the potential future location of Wti Climbing.
With Wti Climbing, we will leverage the power of climbing to enrich the physical and mental well-being of our customers. Our climbing gym will have a far-reaching impact on our climbers by providing strong individuals, close communities, and strong, healthy lifestyles.
The opportunity for success was clear to us on our most recent trip to Palestine. In meetings with businessmen and women, NGOs, and government officials, the response to Wti Climbing was overwhelmingly positive. And climbing gyms are not a new concept in the Middle East either. There are gyms in Jordan, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and Dubai. There are 14 rock climbing gyms in Israel alone.
But in Palestine, there are no climbing gyms. So Wti Climbing will have a first mover advantage and have little competition for our customers' free time. Palestine is a very young population. 68% are under the age of 30. This means that Wti Climbing will be addressing a large group of people whose needs aren't being met by the current recreational options. And it's important to understand that there's a difference between the lack of opportunity in the market is not correlated with the lack of demand. Most Palestinians crave the recreational opportunities that we consider standard in a normal life in the States.
So in the past 15 years, there's been a huge boom in the popularity of fitness gyms, and other opportunities have been popping up as well. There's an annual marathon in Bethlehem. Palestinians can go surfing off the coast of Gaza. There's a new mixed martial arts studio in Ramallah, and there are cafes and restaurants in just about every city or village in the West Bank.
But once Wadi Climbing opens, we will have a leg up against our competition. Rock climbing is a new and unique sport that Palestinians can incorporate into their weekly routines. Our gym will offer an inviting environment that is built around sports, collaboration, and learning.
Wadi Climbing is a for-profit social enterprise, and we will operate on a fee-for-service model. The two most substantial revenue streams that we've identified are memberships and day passes. Like at a normal fitness gym, customers pay to access our facilities, which will include climbing walls, a yoga studio, and open areas for the community to collaborate, work, and exercise together. The prices that you see are calculated to compete with local market prices.
The additional capitalization for a climbing gym is high, and capital expenditures account for the bulk of the cost. To outfit our chosen facility with climbing walls, equipment, multi-purpose rooms, padded floor will roughly cost $700,000. The rest covers the first year of operating expenses. To break even, we will need 500 visits per month and 63 members per year. It is obvious from our 9% return on investment that we are not a tech startup with a nonlinear growth rate, nor are we trying to be. But in order to understand the full return on investment, we must also look at the social impact on the community.
Social return on investment is an emerging way for us to forecast the impact that our business will have on Palestinian society and measure the other half of our double bottom line. To understand the impact that Wadi Climbing will have, we began by identifying stakeholders, we looked at the changes that they will experience, and assigned financial proxies to quantify that change. Take one of the 6,300 customers that we expect will visit our gym in year one. Let's understand the positive benefit if he or she visits the gym twice per week or 100 times per year. Those many hours could have otherwise been spent going to a cafe and smoking hookah, for example, where they would have spent $5 per time or $500 annually. Instead, they can spend that same $500 on Wadi Climbing to experience a healthier lifestyle as well as greater trust, confidence, and sense of community. This is one of the many tangible outcomes that we believe will directly result from the establishment of our business. In conducting these calculations, we realized that the potential for social impact is truly unlimited.
Another option is with a private Palestinian real estate developer who has identified a prime piece of property near the center of Ramallah that he could develop for our use. Besides providing us with a long-term lease on the facility, he has also expressed interest in coming in with an investment. We have made it through the initial evaluation with the Palestine Investment Fund, and they have also expressed interest in making a sizable investment.
We have two options for wall manufacturers. One is a European manufacturer that has built gyms in both Jordan and Saudi Arabia, and the other is a U.S. climbing gym company that we've built a strong relationship with over the past 6 months. The U.S. climbing company has expressed interest in building the wall and covering the cost of the wall in exchange for equity and some cash. We've also built strong relationships with local businesses, development agencies, companies involved in corporate social responsibility, and NGOs like Tomorrow's Youth Organization and Right to Play. We've begun planning for future cooperation that would involve engaging communities that would otherwise not be able to afford Wadi Climbing. In this way, we can reach kids from local schools and refugee camps and women from rural areas of the West Bank.
Tim and I will use what we have learned in our experiences in Palestine and climbing throughout the world to create a business that achieves both commercial success and social impact.
I'm a senior political science major here at Colorado College. I've spent the last 3 summers leading outdoor trips for young adults and working at a leadership camp for Palestinians and Israelis in Maine.
I'm a senior economics and business major, Arabic minor at Colorado College, co-captain of the varsity lacrosse team, president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, and a member of the President's Council. Tim and I are all in with Wadi Climbing and are moving to Ramallah, Palestine after graduation in June.
Wadi Climbing began as an idea that Will and I discussed during nights spent at the climbing gym in Jordan. We loved the Jordanian climbing community, but we were disappointed by the way that the gym was catered towards rich Jordanians and expats. We saw ways to improve their model. Traveling around the region, we were shocked by the staggering lack of recreational opportunity in the West Bank. There we saw an exciting opportunity in the market.
We've been working on Wadi Climbing for over a year now. All this hard work and momentum has brought us here today. Multiple trips to the region, hard work here at CC, and networking within the climbing community has us excited for what is to come. In the next coming months, we will pick a location, acquire work permits, and finalize fundraising. But all this is not possible if we don't make it to Palestine.
So today we're asking for $40,000 in seed funding. The funding will allow us to relocate to Palestine and set up operations in Ramallah. $15,000 in operational expenses covers our burn rate for the first 4 months while we finalize fundraising. Another $15,000 allows us to draw up legal contracts with the investors that we mentioned before. And another $10,000 allows us to continue conducting market research and validating our concept throughout the summer.
Thank you for everyone who is here today, both physically and virtually. We greatly appreciate this opportunity. But the big idea is only one important step for us, so please help us and join us on our adventure to make a difference in the lives of Palestinians. Thank you.
All right, great, guys. Judges, questions?
I have a couple of, I got 8 questions 5 minutes ago from a friend in Ramallah who lives there. He's a Yale graduate, went to Harvard Law School, all that stuff. But so I didn't have questions. He has questions. He talks about Israeli restrictions, entry and exit.
Sure.
Visas.
Visas? Yeah, visas are one of the biggest issues we've faced. However, we have 2 solutions. One, we've been working with the Portland Trust. It's an organization that encourages investment in the West Bank. And the other is we have contact with USAID. In fact, we got an email from USAID 3 days ago asking us to send scans of our passports. And so we'll likely finalize that process.
Import regulations on equipment.
Yeah, importing and exporting, everything has to come through Israel, so it's an issue, but it's not a big issue. We've already talked to a number of freight forwarding companies and the real estate developers that have connections. So
okay. Foreign ownership.
Foreign ownership is
limited to 40%.
We have a lawyer that works with us in the West Bank, and we talked about this issue, and it's not going to be a problem. There's ways to deal with it.
Okay.
They're going to have to raise a lot of money. So trust me, they'll give up more than 40%.
They won't end up with more than 40% when like that. But anyway, good presentation, guys. I'm a numbers person, and it sure doesn't look like you're going to be able to do this and not increase expenses. Your expense numbers barely go up, and yet your revenue is going up pretty substantially. You sure you can pull that deal off?
Yeah, so the thing about a climbing gym, it requires a high initial capitalization, for all the capital expenditures. But then once the facility is built and operating, most of those expenses are really just maintenance and salaries.
And marketing.
And
marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how you drive customers,
exactly.
Right?
And in Palestine, it's a very small-knit community, and there's a lot of relationships, and everyone knows everyone. So word of mouth will be huge for us. Like guerrilla marketing, when we were on a trip, we visited a few schools and going out to local businesses and universities. But also, social media will be a huge tool for us. Arabic is the fastest growing language on social media. And we have a Facebook page and Twitter, and so that would be another important use for us.
Did you talk to any owners of gyms to understand how they go about citing gyms and looking at the population around and their incomes? Mm-hmm. I don't climb, so I don't know how expensive of a sport it is. I play tennis, which is a pretty expensive sport. So does this concept fit in with the demographics? Will you be able to drive enough people through your gym to make a return, which is kind of the other way of asking your question?
It is.
Yeah, we've talked to a number of gym owners, both here in the US and then also fitness gym owners in Palestine. And then we went to almost every climbing gym in Israel to understand that. And we came up with this at the climbing gym in Jordan, so we visited a fair number of gyms. And yeah, we've, if you look at another fitness gym in Ramallah, the most popular one, which is Try Fitness, they, in a bad month, they have about 1,500 members, in a good month, about 2,000 members, and they charge $150 a month for a membership.
Guys, my friend also mentioned that you talked about it being a very youthful country. Mm-hmm. Unemployment's 40% for youth. You probably know that. And average per capita income is $2,000. So, cost becomes an issue, big issue.
Right.
Yeah, those revenue projections were based on, the surrounding area of Ramallah is about 790,000 people, and 40% of that population has enough disposable income to visit our gym at least once in a year, which is $1,000 per month. And that is about 315,000. And so of that, we using industry standards, climbing industry standards from the States and European industries, 2% of that population will be coming to our gym, and that will break down between memberships and day passes and stuff like that.
Related question, that was a great pitch, guys, about accessibility. You mentioned very quickly in a part of your pitch about ensuring that young people in particular who can't otherwise afford it will have some access to it. What percentage of the business will be, are you prepared to commit a percentage of the time and the resources of the facility to people in that position? Or is it something that you prefer for rhetorical reasons to be more fluid about?
Yeah, as we talked about, we like met with all these different organizations, USAID, those NGOs that we talked about, Bank of Palestine, and these are all organizations that have expressed interest not in helping us with the initial capitalization, but with running programs. And so we talked to them about devoting a day, maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks, where we would have it open for them to bring in programs.
Yeah, and the NGOs that we met with, like Right to Play and Tomorrow's Youth Organizations, which encourages sports among youth, we've connected relationships with them. And they already had this established communities in refugee camps and women empowerment groups. And we're going to work with them to bring all those groups over like a few times, like a month, like Tim said.
Great. Thank you, Wti Climbing. One of the themes here at CC is we recognize that it really takes a community to create startups. Startups are team endeavors, but startups also require lots of mentorship and folks from the outside. And this year we really wanted to recognize we've had tons of folks that are involved with us, supportive. And again, I want to just recognize a number of folks who have helped, who have served as mentors, advisors, and speakers. Rick Rodella, who teaches at UCCS and a serial startup guy, has been very involved, actually very involved with the startup boot camp that we did. A number of folks from UCCS. Rick Denton, the CEO of the Colorado Springs Technology Incubator, has been really involved with us, as well as Duncan Stewart, CEO of Grant Dental. Etienne Hardin, Tony DeLawless I saw here. And again, we're just so supportive or appreciative of all of the support and mentorship that we've gotten from folks in the community. And again, I could go on much longer, but I did want to recognize that our teams have received already some free advice from law firms in town, and we have 2 law firms that have made a donation to add to the prize here. Ben Sparks and Sparks Wilson has agreed to donate $1,000 of legal services to a team, because that's a theme that's oftentimes really needed. So thanks to Ben and Sparks Wilson. And then Joanne Schmitz and Schmitz, Lewis, Kuhn, and Swan are extending $3,000 in legal services to be awarded by the judges. So we want to thank these law firms for adding on to the support that the teams are already receiving. So next up is Colorado Springs Food Rescue team members Sanjay Roberts and Shane Laurie, and you're not on my list. Meredith, that's right. Thank you, Meredith.
Hello, we are Colorado Springs Food Rescue. My name is Meredith, and I'm the donor recipient coordinator.
And I'm Shane, I'm the executive director. Our mission is to intercept the vast amount of perishable food that is being thrown away in our community and sustainably transport this to agencies that can redistribute it to those in need.
Our goal is to establish a system that will eliminate unnecessary food waste and help solve the problems of hunger and malnutrition in our community.
Up to 40% of our nation's food supply is being thrown away before it's eaten. Meanwhile, 20% of Americans are going hungry. Something just doesn't make sense here. But the answer to this problem is staring us in the face. Furthermore, we are dealing with a problem of inequitable access to healthy foods. Low-income populations are increasingly subject to illnesses such as diabetes and obesity. Recent reports from the Diabetes Association of America have estimated that in counties with a 35% or over rate of poverty, they are 135% more likely to develop obesity.
So, part of our mission is to promote health equity across the city. This map shows the areas in Colorado Springs where low-income families have limited access to nutritious food. Colorado Springs has one of the highest percentages of food deserts of any city in the United States. This is a serious problem. So how are we going about solving this problem? Well, our organization receives food from a variety of food distributors throughout the city. Under the Good Samaritan Food Donation Act, an established nonprofit organization such as ourselves may receive donated food from any distributor, clearing them of any liability while simultaneously giving them an opportunity to file for tax deductions on the donated food. This gives companies incentive to donate to us and is essentially the reason why an organization like us is able to exist.
So what is the big idea? How are we innovative and how are we different from other organizations trying to do the same thing? Our just-in-time rescue model is what sets us apart from other charitable food efforts, such as food banks and food drives. Large organizations tend to function by collecting massive amounts of imperishable goods and transporting them to a redistribution warehouse. Here it is inventoried and subsequently sent out days later. This model allows a large amount of perishable goods to fall through the cracks. This is where we come in. We transport the food directly from the donating businesses to the organizations that can serve it to at-risk populations within 48 hours. This allows us to provide fresher, more nutritious food as opposed to canned goods with high sodium content or Kraft macaroni and cheese.
All the while, we are emphasizing sustainability as we do 80% of our deliveries by bicycle. Not only does it open up our volunteer pool and allow people who don't have cars to help out, we are also creating community and awareness around alternative methods to fossil fuel-powered transportation. So here's a list of our current donors and recipients. As you can see, we receive food from a variety of different donors. We have our school cafeteria, a number of cafes and bakeries in town. Our recipients mainly consist of women's and homeless shelters, although we also donate to Seeds Community Cafe downtown.
We've also been collaborating with other local nonprofits in our community. Recently, we've started a program with Community Prep School. We're in the finishing stages of setting this up, where we will bring produce and bread to the school and allow the students to take it home to their at-risk families at the end of the day. We've come a long way since our humble beginnings last September. To date, we have rescued upwards of 6,500 pounds of food. We've also been working closely with the school. They've actually provided us with work-study students, and we have one paid volunteer coordinator and one paid event planner. We've also had considerable amounts of media coverage. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were featured in a front-page story in the Gazette, as well as in the same week had a feature story on Fox 21 News. We recently also changed Bon Appetit's entire corporate policy surrounding food donation from a buffet line. At the end of the day, now self-served items from the buffet line can now be donated to a charity such as ourselves. This sets a precedent not only for Bon Appetit accounts, but for other cafeterias across the nation who might be willing to donate the food they throw away at the end of the day. We've also been included in Whole Foods' bag donation program. What this means is that every time a customer comes in and uses a reusable bag, Whole Foods will donate 10 cents to one of 3 charities. We are one of those charities.
So our social return on investment really illustrates our impact in the community. As you can see, for every 61 cents that we spend, we're able to rescue 1 pound of healthy food, the equivalent of a hearty meal. One of the beauties of our program is that we are able to make a big difference while operating on a very small budget. So looking ahead, we have solidified contacts with all of the above organizations. So in the near future, we will be solidifying these partnerships and picking up donated food from all of them.
As well as these listed donors, we also hope to find 15 new food donors in the coming year, as well as find 50 more community committed volunteer members. We're also planning on hiring a full-time employee outside of CC to come in and help us run the organization. We have a couple of fundraising events on the horizon, including a Karma Tuesdays at Bristol Brewery, where $1 of every beer will go towards our organization.
So, our team consists of a 10-member board, all of whom have distinct responsibilities within the board. 9 of us are current students at Colorado College, and our 10th member and financial advisor is a CC alumni, all of whom are in the crowd right now. And yeah, so there we are. So, as you can see, we have a variety of sources of revenue. There's a breakdown right there. And since September 2013, we have raised over $10,000.
One of the more notable revenue efforts that we have is actually selling advertising space on our trailers that are being biked across town daily. So this is a very good opportunity for businesses to support us. These are our list of annual expenses for the coming year. We project to spend a total of $41,000, but most of these fees will come from administrative fees. We're planning to hire a full-time employee, and unfortunately for us, our operational overhead is extremely small. So where most of the money is going to go is towards a salary for this employee.
So before we wrap up, we would like to show a short video that really illustrates what we're doing in the community. Oh, it doesn't want to work.
There are those who dream of flying in the small hours of the morning, in beds and tents and empty fields, in matted cots and subway cars. There are those who dream of weightlessness, like so many flakes of snow before the sun. And there are those who dream of empty bowls with tattered clothes and witness as time moves over them and back unto itself like a great wheel. We are the spokes, the joints and the grips. We turn the handles, churn the pedals, and as our wheels turn, time stops and we fly.
Thank you.
We're not done yet.
It's not quite over. We are asking for $30,000. The majority of these funds will go towards hiring this full-time employee to help us run the day-to-day operations of our organization and ensure long-term sustainability. It is not uncommon for student-run nonprofits to fizzle out after the original founders graduate and move on. We want to ensure that this organization is around for the long haul. But as it stands, we still lack the funds necessary to pay the bare minimum wage. In order to attract somebody professional, we need to be able to offer a competitive salary. We've been closely examining the expenses and successes of Boulder Food Rescue, our partners and mentors, and in 2013, after hiring a full-time employee with a salary of only $20,000 a year, they managed to nearly triple their impact and rescued an astounding total of 355,000 pounds of food in a single year. We have built this organization from the ground up, and we have been successful in our efforts to address a pressing need in our community. We and the low-income families that we serve need your help to ensure that our waste redistribution system will forevermore be a part of Colorado Springs. Thank you.
Judges, questions?
Go ahead.
No, please.
It was a great presentation. Long ago, I hired a guy at Microsoft who had a business in Stanford where he sold ad space on the triangular part of the bike.
Really?
Yeah, so you should do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Because it's bigger, right? So you can have a bigger brand.
Makes a lot of sense.
He only had 2 clients, McDonald's and a condom company.
All right.
We'll look into that.
Can you talk a little bit about the process on how the food gets from one place to the other, 48 hours? What kind of storage facilities do you have, or are you doing any storage at all? And what do you need to ensure the quality of that food? So it's going to be served someplace else. So how
Absolutely.
are you doing quality inspection?
Well, all 10 members of the board are actually certified food safety handlers through the El Paso County Health Department. So we've done our research. We know what it takes to keep food safe. Also, as we explained before, the Good Samaritan Food Donation Act protects us from liability and the donating company. Of course, if every organization was afraid of any sort of lawsuit at all, nobody would donate food ever. Unfortunately, Bill Clinton passed this law in 2006 and allowed us to actually collect food and minimize the fear that companies have of donating food to an organization such as ourselves. As for the process, we set
do you
up
have special containers, or what are you doing? How do you keep the food safe?
Yes, well, let me explain the process and we'll tell you how it happens within the process. So what we do is we set up schedules with the donating organizations. So say 3 days a week from Old School Bakery at Ivy Wild. They saran wrap all their bread, and we have a volunteer come those 3 days a week scheduled. They'll show up, they'll bring the bike trailer, and there will be a bin already at the donating agency. And all their food is already prepackaged by the people that are donating. We then have it put into the bin in our trailer, and then we bike it straight to the organization that will store it. We don't actually do any storage ourselves. We're merely the transporters. So for instance, in that case, we bring it straight to Springs Rescue Mission. Well, they will store it in the way they see fit and then serve it the next day or maybe the day after that, ensuring that they can serve it before it goes bad.
Okay. What about weather around here? Bicycles and snow and like, wow.
Obviously, we can't do every single shift by bicycle, but we aim to have about 80% of them done by bicycle. Of course, exceptions being inclement weather and a volunteer that might get sick. We have a list of all the volunteers that have cars. We also ask our volunteers to schedule absences if they know they're not going to be able to do the shift. And if there's bad weather, then we will call them and have one of our volunteer coordinators either do the shift or find a volunteer that has a car that is willing to do it as well.
You're projecting, as you move forward, 50 volunteers. How many do you currently have, and B, what kind of difficulty do you anticipate in getting to 50 from where you are now?
We actually don't anticipate too much difficulty at all. Right now we have 130 volunteers signed up that want to help, but nowhere near enough work to use them all. So that's what we're trying to do right now. The interest in the community is huge. What we just need to do now is convince more businesses to donate to us and have this full-time employee that will help us do that while we are still in school, as the balancing act is getting harder and harder as we expand.
20 grand is tough for a full-time employee.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to do more than
that. We're hoping to do more. If you want to give us more money.
It virtually ensures that they will be eating some of the food that they pick up.
Absolutely. Well, also, once we obtain this full-time employee, they will be able to work on more fundraising opportunities as well, increasing their own salary. Yeah.
There you go.
So she talked about inclement weather. My perception is most of your students, the bike is the preferred way to do it. You know, what happens the rest of the year, you know, during the summer? Hunger is every day for these people, right? So are you reaching out to a bigger community, to, you know, the boomers that have time available who would drive their cars, probably not a bike? I mean, how do you make this sustainable?
Absolutely. Right now we are in the process of trying to find more community volunteers. One success that we had is Jimmy John's delivers food by bicycle. So we walked in there and we asked if any of the Jimmy John's employees would have spare time or would like to do it, and we had tremendous success in recruiting there. We've also posted we've also posted posters around town. We have volunteer orientation meetings every Wednesday at Poor Richards. So any interested community members can come and learn how to do the process, and we will eventually switch out the student volunteer with the community volunteer, because obviously people that are here year-round are more valuable to us than students. Meanwhile, the Rascal shift will always be covered by CC students, of course, because it's on campus.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's a benefit to having a volunteer network, huh? Yeah. So, you all have your tickets that you dropped off. Anybody want free stuff? Yeah, free stuff? Okay. So our first, and Liz Lilly is going to do the drawing. Our first is for a $50 Amazon gift certificate. Amazon. Right there. All right. Welcome. Are you guys almost okay? And you know what, actually, so Steve Kasmerick and Adam, you know, I don't know if everybody kind of realizes this is a great CC success story. Everybody know about Fat Tire Bikes? And Adam and Steve, stand up. Stand up. Really cool startup that's come out of the community and off and running big time, or I should say pedaling big time. Okay, great. Next up is Cold Snap, and we have got Azim Sola and Asama Olnaji. And I don't know how I butchered that so badly since I know you so well. Great. Okay, guys, take it away.
Thanks, everyone, for coming. I'm Usama, this is Azim, and we're so excited to present to you Cold Snap.
Over the past decade, my parents have lost thousands of dollars every year in ice cream. Cold Snap prevents that. Their Baskin Robbins has hundreds of gallons of ice cream in 9 different freezers. Over the years, we found that each freezer has its own finicky behavior. A cooler will go from working completely fine to hotter than a swamp in less than an hour. Sorry. Yeah. This can happen for many reasons. A compressor will fill with dust, or a worker will accidentally power off a unit. If the store is closed, or your worker doesn't realize that they just turned off your freezer, then you're gonna lose all of the inventory in that cooler. Each year, my parents are down at least $1,500 from issues like this. Also, every store is when we researched the problem, we quickly found that it was endemic in the industry. Also, every store is under strict health code to monitor these problems. The standard for the solution for this is paper logs, like this one. It's called the Pink Book. It's expensive, and workers routinely fudge its numbers at the end of their shift. It's really only good for surface health code compliance, and it does very little to prevent meltdowns.
The solution to all of this is Cold Snap. We've developed a sensor system that helps save small and family-owned businesses thousands of dollars every year just in inventory losses. It's really simple how it works. You take one of our sensors, like the one I have here, and you put it in your fridge or freezers. That's pretty much all you have to do. We take it from there. We measure simple things like temperature or moisture, and we warn you whenever we sense a problem. That's not all we do. We warn your managers, your employees, and you. We do everything we need to do to get your attention, to get to the problem before it's actually a problem. That's still not all we do. We also, through Cold Snap, you can also print out clean logs, which are everything you need to present to your health code and auditors for inspection. Yeah, so the reason we do all this is to save small businesses. We want to close the tech gap between the small businesses who need to save money the most and the big companies that can afford all the expensive industrial tech equipment.
Here's how Cold Snap's sensor system works. Our powerful long-range sensors connect via radio to a base station, and the base station connects to the internet using an Ethernet port. Once connected, Cold Snap will immediately detect your system. Owners simply have to name their sensors, and they're done. Setup is less than 20 minutes. In about 8 to 10 months, when the sensors are about to die, we'll send fresh sensors and a prepaid envelope for sending the old ones back to us to refurbish. The simplicity of installing and maintaining Cold Snap makes it like nothing else on the market. All right, so here's some freezer data from 2 normal non-meltdown days at my parents' shop. The cycles marked in green here are normal automatic defrost cycles. Now here's some data from a meltdown event. Thankfully, this was just a simulation and we didn't lose any product. We actually tested 2 different things here. On the left, you have an open door, and on the right, you have a power failure. All right. These graphs show that Cold Snap can distinguish the difference between everyday business and meltdowns like this one.
So we give you all of this, everything Azim just talked about, for just $35 a month. This price point really makes sense. Like Azim mentioned in the beginning, food establishments in our market lose at least $1,500 a year in inventory. Our product costs $400, so we can all do the math. We should buy Cold Snap. The other thing is that Pink Book, Azim talked about earlier, this manual log is used by 70% of our market and costs $30 a month. We do everything that these papers do. We automate that, and in addition, we provide you with everything that you need. In addition, we provide you with complete meltdown protection for your fridges and freezers. Let's look at some numbers here. So, right now we're beta testing in 1 store to refine our product to perfection. We've already got verbals from 10 stores that are just itching for a product launch, which is going to be in the next month or 2. Then, if we're able to get the right type of funding we need today from the Big Idea competition, we're easily going to be in 25 stores within the next 6 months. After that, we're going to pursue a VC or an angel investment that's going to get us to 1,000 stores within the next 2 years. At this point, we're going to be cash flow positive. Now, this might sound like an aggressive approach to some, but we're really playing it on the conservative side. We've got a plan for this. Until this 100-store point, we're going to leverage Azim's dad's established Baskin-Robbins connection to target the frozen treats industry. After that, we're going to expand into adjacent markets like restaurants or grocery stores that need the cold snap technologies that we provide.
Our competitors. Surprisingly, our biggest competitor, as we said, is manual paper logging, like the Pink Book. At least $400, sometimes as much as $400 a year for 12 spiral notebooks. Yeah, and 70% of the market uses it as well. Our other competitors in the tech field are Notify, which costs thousands of dollars. It's a similar wireless sensor solution, but Cold Snap is actually 400% more accurate, our sensors are. Smart Signal is a predictive failure manufacturing equipment company. Maybe it doesn't just do manufacturing equipment though. But what it does do is focus on commercial and industrial based stuff and a lot less on small businesses.
So as we move into our first 10 stores within the next couple of months, we've already looked into filing provisional patents to protect ourselves. We're focused on growing revenue, acquiring new customers, and refining our product around customer needs, which should launch very, very soon. If we're able to get the sufficient help we need today, that's really going to help us help other small businesses, which is at the core of Cold Snap. Now, we couldn't have done any of this without the help of our amazing mentors, Tony DeLolis and Ismail, who I want to welcome on stage. They're there already. But as you can see, they've got amazing credentials, and we're so lucky that we get to work with them. Azim is going to be developing the product while I work on the business side of things. We've got such a strong team and an amazing story. And we're confident that we could build Cold Snap the right way and make it into a great, profitable business.
Through automating manual logs, through automating manual logs and saving small businesses thousands through meltdown prevention, Cold Snap will give owners like my parents the peace of mind they've always been looking for. They can chillax, and I've always been telling them to anyways. Thank you so much for your attention. Check out our launch website at coldsnap.com, and please follow us on Twitter. We really need those.
And chillax.
I wonder if I thought it was a great presentation. A couple geeky questions. Why are you using Ethernet instead of something that is persistent, like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or something that lighter weight?
Wi-Fi is very spotty, as actually all of CC kids know.
Sure.
I work at the help desk here, but TigerNet 2 has been known for a long time to make people have a spotty connection. And also, the persistent Ethernet connection allows for a better connection to occur between the base station and the sensor via radio, which means that we can even make it through walk-in freezer doors, which was our goal.
Do all these guys have Ethernet in their facility? That's what
definitely.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as my dad can confirm.
I have a question. It sounds like the big problem is maintenance and service cycling and all that stuff in these stores. Question, what's your IP position with this product? Because I don't see it as a standalone, frankly. You know, the way the world's going is the big guys, Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, are all bundling services, right, like this.
Well,
in fact, they all have security companies now. They have fleet management. and they're looking for add-on products, the last thing a small business needs is one more account, right, and something else to deal with. One company, one monitor, one bill is the way to go. If you have IP, you know, you look for go to the highest bidder.
So is your question what we're filing our IPs in?
Yeah.
Okay, Azim's dad can talk more to that because he's helped us with the process, but this is a new technology and that's why we can do this kind of thing.
Sure. So there are two parts to the system. So one part is the sensors and the other part is the application. The sensors are a commodity item. Yeah. Trying to make money in there is very difficult. So that's not the strategy here. What we need to do to make this happen is, number one, we want to license, form some sort of licensing where we can brand those sensors ourselves. And then secondly, introduce some IP. The types of IP we're thinking of is, giving you an example, there's a good possibility that these sensors go missing. So, and to prevent that, we need some sort of location software. So, some form of triangulation. Now, triangulation has been well thought through, but in this context, it is a little bit different. We just have to move a sensor just about a foot, and it goes from cold to a warm environment, leading to false alerts. So we need some specialized algorithms to do that. So that's our goal. So that's one example. And then we have some other examples to add to this IPR. And you're completely right that, you know, this is one possible strategy, is that we build this and then it goes into, say, an ADT or some other big service provider.
Have you considered some other markets? I think about biotech that also has refrigeration, very high value.
Yeah, we've definitely looked into those markets. Actually, our original idea was included targeting those types of market, but we decided to focus in on markets we already have very established connections in and expand into those markets as we go to the 1,000 stores I talked about earlier.
Another big part that we challenged the team with was focusing on a market to start with, and they knew this use case very well. There's also a kind of a social target of helping small business. So there's that gap where you get to the bigger companies that can get the $400 thermostat, the $3,000 a month service. These guys can hit a unique niche right away to help small and family businesses. So they really wanted to focus on that in the beginning.
I wanted to ask, so Baskin-Robbins has 9 freezers. Small business, let's imagine one that has 1 or 2. They're going to have proportionately less losses per year than $1,500. It'd be something like $400 or $500. So it's more or less equal to what you're charging per year for the unit. But here's my question: is insurance? And I don't actually know how it works, but is insurance an actual competitor here? That is to say, what would it cost me with 2 freezers to insure my inventory against meltdowns? Would it be more than? I suspect it would be less than $420.
Yeah, so I can answer that since I pay this insurance. So the problem with the insurance is that if I make a claim, my insurance is going to go up. And it's going to go up a lot more than just a few $100s, actually. So the vast majority of franchisees will not submit a claim.
So most people who own freezers in restaurants don't have insurance, and oftentimes they go after the manufacturers or the distributors, and we've heard this crazy story where they wanted the distributor to pay for all of their food. So I think our product can also help give peace of mind to the distributors.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Cold
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
Next drawing up is for $200 at the Outdoor Education and Leadership credit towards a class, a trip, whatever you want. And again, one of the things I found out at CC, so how many of you have done outdoor ed trips, or it's pretty much everybody, right? So it's $200 towards your next grand adventure. Yeah. Yeah. Congrats. Okay, and by the way, coming up in just a little bit is the $500 gift certificate for a bike at Old Town Bike Shop. So you probably don't want to leave if your odds are still good to be a part of it. You guys ready?
Ready.
Yep. Okay, great. So up next is Get Outfitted, our final team. CC team members are Marcel Germond and Alex Fitzgerald, who's actually recovering after a medical event. And then founder Julian Flores. Guys, it's yours.
All right, my name is Marcel Grimaud. I'm a sophomore biology major here at Colorado College. I'm also an avid snowboarder, and I'm really excited to be here to share Get Outfitted with you.
And my name is Julian Flores. I'm a local entrepreneur, and I'm the founder of Get Outfitted.
So at Get Outfitted, we believe that the cost of getting in the outdoors is too high. And what we want to do is create a global outdoor gear rental platform so that anyone, anywhere, get the products they need to enjoy the outdoors. So imagine you're in California and you want to go surfing and you need a wetsuit. We'd send it to you. You're in Wisconsin, you want to try out fly fishing, we'd send you the gear. By turning products into a service, we're going to get more people outside doing the things that they love.
So that's our big idea, but we're starting small, and we are already executing on this idea by starting small in snow sports. So we're just finishing up our first season in snow sports, renting ski and snowboard apparel and accessories directly to our customers' doorsteps with free and easy shipping and returns.
And already we've helped hundreds of customers save thousands of dollars by focusing on the key pain points of cost and convenience. So for an individual to get the ski gear they need for a season can cost upwards of $700. If you add in a spouse and 2 kids, you're looking at over $2,000. In contrast, from Get Outfitted, you can get gear for just $125 for an entire vacation from some of the best brands. We really want to emphasize experience over ownership. So while cost is the main pain point, we've also helped people with convenience. That family coming from Florida doesn't want to have to pay to lug their gear all the way to Colorado and then back. That parent doesn't want to have the hassle of replacing their kids' gear every year. That person living in New York City doesn't want to store all that ski stuff in their small apartment. But what that new skier does want is the assurance that they have the best gear possible and they'll feel prepared to be on the slopes for the first time. So our solution is easy. It's convenience and savings, and it comes in the simplicity of one box. And it just takes these 3 easy steps. You go on our website, you browse dozens of different styles, a couple of clicks in a matter of minutes, your gear is reserved. You show up to the resort, the gear is waiting for you. In 3 to 5 to 10 days, you're sporting top-end gear. And lastly, on your way out, drop it off at the front desk. Shipping's free. It's really that easy.
So we've been executing on this idea since the beginning of this ski season, and we want to show you a quick demo of the website to give you a sense for how easy and simple it is. So here's an example use case. Say you're a man and you want to go skiing, let's say next week, and you need a jacket. You browse our items, you find a jacket, you can toggle the different sizes, check the sizing guide, of course, to get the right fit, and then you can rent for 3, 5, or 10 days. The calendar populates automatically, showing you when it'll arrive and when it will return back to us. You can add it to your cart, you can keep shopping to complete your whole look, or you can go ahead and check out, add a $5 damage coverage policy, and you're off to the races. So for the front-end user, great, easy experience, couple of minutes. On the back end, we have a pretty robust dashboard system that's tracking our revenue, our expenses, our traffic sources, and those kinds of things. We can manage all of our orders, of course, and our customer interactions. We can manage all of our products and optimize them for SEO and those kinds of things. So I just want to give you a quick example of the front and back end experience and how robust it is past MVP at this point. So we've talked a couple of different times now about our customers, and here's an example of our customers. These are their pictures that they've sent us in this first season, and they're just loving it. So here's an example from Jennifer, a quote that exemplifies the value that we bring for them. So she said, "The clothes were absolutely perfect, couldn't have been better. I fell in love with skiing, and I will definitely continue to order from Get Outfitted for these ski trips. It's just so convenient." And you know, she was one of our early customers. She just rented from us again a couple of weeks ago. So people are finding value in this and loving it. I do want to spend a couple of brief seconds here on the economic model because, of course, in any rental business, you really have to nail this. On the left-hand side, you see our wholesale outlay by purchasing this from the manufacturers, about 50% of the cost of retail. On our first rental, we're obviously not breaking even. We can generate anywhere from $100 to $150 in revenue. You back out our fulfillment costs in terms of shipping and pick and pack, and then you have our net revenue for just that cycle. But you fast forward to cycle 4, and that's where we're already breaking even. Anything beyond that, as we continue to go into the season, is where we make margin. Or in this case, if you sell right at the 4th cycle, we're already generating close to 40% or higher margins. So the economic model definitely works.
And so for further proof of our validation, you can look to our metrics. $20,000 in gross revenue in our first 100 days operational, over 500 rental products shipped, customers coming from 26 different states, 9 different countries. And as Julian said, they're reaching out to us, telling us how happy they are with our service. They're telling their friends, they're coming back, using it a second time, and resorts are referring customers. We're also really proud of our Net Promoter Score of 90. In contrast, most e-commerce sites have a Net Promoter Score of around 70. This just means that customers are stoked about what we're doing, and they're referring more people. And so not only are our customers excited, but some of the best brands in the industry are as well. We have Patagonia, Helly Hansen, Burton, Armada, all partnered with us, and including the others on the list. And we're also developing our affiliate network that we're going to talk a little bit more about later. 30-plus resorts already, 30-plus tour operators, and we're really excited as this list continues to grow.
So clearly customers are excited, the resorts and our brand partners are excited, but we want to talk to you about growth and the market opportunity. So 90 million skier days in North America alone, that's not counting the 200 million skier days in Europe that we haven't even started talking about. 22 million Americans participate in snow sports every year. But if you look at the addressable market, so the tops-down approach, the big market, $53 billion in snow sports product sales. But we're zooming in, starting at the apparel and accessories side of this. So this is really our available market right now of $2.75 billion in spending every year. That's the top-down approach of our market size. But we've really worked hard on a bottoms-up approach of calculating exactly what our customer acquisition cost is, what our scaling is going to be, our operations and fulfillment, and we think we can get onto a revenue run rate of $25 million in the next 3 to 4 ski seasons.
Just as a point of comparison, there are already so many companies in this industry already surpassing these numbers. You have Rent the Runway, which is the Get outfit of women's fashion, $54 million in VC investment, 3 million plus customers. Just last month, the Black Tux raised $2.6 million in their Series A, their Tux through the mail model. And just last week, Play, the Netflix for Legos, it just makes so much sense, $6.75 million in their Series A. It's happening in all these other categories as well, offering products as a service, emphasizing experience over ownership, and we want to do the same. We want to disrupt the outdoor industry.
So the way that we're going to disrupt the outdoor industry, growth and expansion. First, in the snow sports vertical. Our customers and everyone's asking, do we do boots and skis and snowboards? We're not going to ship those things. We're going to work with local fulfillment partners, and we're setting those agreements up now. We're also, as Marcel alluded to, launching an affiliate network. That's what we're going to ask you for help today with. Travel agents, resorts, and other folks who are in the ski industry will be reselling this product and service for us. But really, where we want to make the disruption happen, and back to the big idea itself, is we want to take this global and we want to expand it across the outdoor sector. We want to build an outdoor gear rental platform. Think of it as the 1-800-Flowers or the Amazon.com for outdoor gear rentals, where anyone, anywhere can rent stuff by going through our site and have it locally fulfilled. And just in North America alone, if we do that, we're opening ourselves up to a $646 billion market opportunity. Just a quick look at our projections. The green area is where our soft goods unit is, which is basically the ski apparel side of things. The blue is when we add in the hard goods and ramp that up. And the purple is when we start this platform and really think about expanding this across all the verticals in the outdoor space.
Just a quick look at our team. Really fantastic, dedicated core group. We have previous startup experience, e-commerce and marketing experience in the outdoor industry, as well as analytics and data and business development knowledge. And as you can see, half our team is made up of CC students. And so collectively, from the judges today, we're asking for a $40,000 investment to launch our affiliate network this April. And this is going to pay for the business partial salary of the business developer, cost of making the back-end system work for referrals and payouts, as well as the travel and promotion cost to forge these key partnerships. And we believe modestly that this is going to give us exposure to 200,000 new customers next season with over $400,000 in gross revenue. But more importantly, it's going to give us the momentum to be able to raise our first series investment from venture capitalists. And in return, CC is going to continue to get employment, paid internship opportunities. It's going to get special deals and gear rates, and it's going to continue to make it outfitted a great resource for CC learning and hands-on entrepreneurship.
And from my perspective as the outsider of the group today, this is great for Colorado Springs too. This is a huge investment and a huge ROI for Colorado Springs. We'll have a great new hot startup that people will care about and want to promote. We're going to hire locally as well as bring in talent from all across the country. And also, incredibly crucial at this day and age in Colorado Springs, we'll help bring capital investment here that is so badly needed.
And so with your investment, we're going to be one step closer to our big idea. When one day anyone, regardless of background, income, or ability, can have easy and convenient and affordable access to the outdoors. Thank you so much. That's Get Outfit in our team, and we're ready to take questions.
Thanks.
Questions?
How do you manage inventory?
I'm sorry?
How do you manage inventory?
In his garage.
In my garage with an Excel spreadsheet as a true lean startup. But that was really to get concept validation and to get past MVP. There's a number of different rental platforms that we're going to use to actually manage inventory, but we really wanted to prove the concept first. So we'll scale up and use actual operational, best practices out there.
Do you, this is maybe sound like a stupid question, do you wash the clothes?
It's not a stupid question. No, it's a great question. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if so, how?
So we use the highest quality products, Nick Wax or other competitors. We work directly with the manufacturers to make sure we understand exactly what their guides are for the garments. We also only buy garments and products that are washable, so like you're not going to see down products on our website. So we're really developing a system to inspect it on the front end, make sure it's all clean when it goes out, make sure that the customer hasn't damaged it or that we haven't damaged it, and really flesh out that cycle. But in terms of the cleaning costs, it'll be about $4 a garment right now, but we're going to get that down to about $2 a garment in the next season or two.
Do you worry at all about people not wanting to wear things that have been previously worn?
No, I mean, if you look at our use cases and the comparisons in other industries, not at all. I mean, people are happy using other people's Legos, watches, dresses. I mean, I think this is just a whole new space that people are not concerned about anymore.
You must have already invested a fair amount of money based upon the inventory you have. Is that you guys, one, and then two, it's going to take a fair amount of capital. Do you have folks that you're looking at venture-wise?
Yeah, so I'll answer that in two quick pieces. First, we raised a small angel round of $100,000 over the summer. That was really for our operations and the gear itself. In order to scale up next season and to really serve the 8,000 or so customers we want to serve next season, we got to make the same expense in inventory this next season. So really, part of what this is a two-step process of hopefully with you guys today helping us get the capital to do the affiliate network and really have that traction to then go to venture capital and say, we've got easily 400,000 person exposure this next season, so we've got the traction in the customer acquisition strategy. Now the funding makes sense for you.
I wanted to ask, when you guys ramp up to hardware, the skis and the poles and the bigger things, if I'm a hotel owner, do you guys anticipate difficulty or even requests for compensation from hotels? They're like, look, you guys, these customers are just dropping off these skis, and we got to wait for the courier to come pick it up. I mean, are they going to play with that?
It's all about strategic partnerships. It's about working with ski butlers or black tie ski rentals, some of those guys that are private ventures that don't necessarily work with resorts but work around them and really help relieve that bottleneck so that the resorts really, if they want to partner with us, they can. Otherwise, this is an opportunity that's going to go past them.
Is it Jacques?
What was that?
Your name again?
Marcel.
Marcel.
Yeah.
Close. I was close.
French, I'll give you that.
That works. He'll answer to anything.
That's okay, I put your name
Yeah,
too,
whatever.
so,
Thanks, Patrick. How have you helped to shape this idea?
Yeah. So Alex and I, if Alex was here, I think he'd agree with me. I came on basically as the season was starting, really helped to refine the concept. Pretty much all of the SEO generation and the online voices come from Alex and I. I've also prepared all the investor reports, spent 50 hours working through our data and understanding our customers, and also working on the affiliate network already. I've already made calls with that.
Yeah, and can I just say, we wouldn't have MVP, we wouldn't have product market fit if they hadn't helped me do this. No chance at all. So these guys have really been foundational partners.
He's the one packing the box.
I'm doing the packing.
Who does the merchandising? I mean, who's got the eye for?
Well, we actually have someone else on our staff who, she's hiding somewhere, but Christy is from the industry. She just had time at Drift Innovation, which is a action camera company. So she's got a ton of experience in terms of merchandising and selecting the right kind of products. And we talk to every single one of our customers about what they like, what they didn't like, why they liked it, styles, fit, all those kinds of things.
Any other questions? Great, get outfitted.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I encourage you to stay. There's two things that are coming while the judges and I kind of head off to make the final decisions. We will be back with decisions and checks. So most of all, you don't want to miss that or the reception that follows. But Liz and Jason will be doing two competitions, the cheer competition and the final grand prize selection with Dean Edmonds. Judges. And Brenda. Okay, thank you all, and reception outside.